The shot rang out on a quiet suburban afternoon, and in that single crack of gunfire, my world shifted forever. Because the woman who pulled the trigger was none other than our HOA president, infamous Karen, and her target was my wheelchair-bound daughter, who had done nothing more than roll her chair across the cul-de-sac to see a neighbor's dog. Yet instead of compassion, she met cruelty. And in that moment, the years I'd spent serving my country as a sniper in the military surged back, not as rage, but as precision, discipline, and a father's unbreakable resolve, because while the bullet missed my child by inches, it hit me square in the heart that this so-called neighborhood enforcer had crossed a line no amount of fines, threats, or petty rules could ever justify. So I acted not with my own rifle, but with the tactical training that taught me how to dismantle a threat without firing a shot. Because justice, when carried out the right way, leaves no room for excuses. So while Karen was screaming about protecting HOA rules, I had already dialed my law enforcement contacts, explained the situation with chilling accuracy, and within minutes, a convoy of marked and unmarked vehicles rolled into our pristine little street, lights flashing against manicured lawns and horrified neighbors peeking through curtains. I watched with steady calm as heavily armed officers swarmed her porch, disarming her with practiced ease, ripping the pistol from her hands before she even realized her reign of fear was over. And as they cuffed her in front of the very residents she'd bullied for years, her voice cracked from arrogance to desperation, shouting that she was just, enforcing order, but the truth was written all over the horrified faces of families she had tormented. And when the postal inspector, sheriff's deputy, and even federal agents laid out evidence of her history of threats, illegal surveillance, and now attempted violence, her fate was sealed. I stood behind my daughter's chair with a steadying hand on her shoulder, promising her safety with my silence while knowing every parent in that courtroom of a neighborhood saw what happens when power is abused. Because when an HOA Karen tries to weaponize authority, she forgets that some of us not only know the law, but also know exactly how to neutralize a threat. And in the end, her gun was taken, her title stripped, and her freedom gone, while my daughter's laughter, fragile but alive, reminded me that the true victory was not in revenge, but in showing my community that no one shoots at a child and walks away untouched.